So I'm buying the euro here really heavy on the demo account as it's been pulling back into this this where we broke out before we left the station. And last night we went up and clipped the trees there. We took out these bears stops, and so we cleaned out all those orders out and then swept it all the way back. So after they grabbed these guys, all these bears had their protection there, and they got crushed, and then they came down and crushed the bulls stops, the people that were long here on the 4-hour, and they stopped them out here. There's a tight we got this entry that the structure people are getting in on right now, and there's that place here where they got in. So I got in there. I got in kind of early, and I also would get in here. So I really maxed this account out. I'm down about $13,000, I think. So I think my wife's going to leave me. Yeah, honey, I shrunk the account. But who could resist this buying opportunity down here? So I'm looking to scalp it to this on the 5-minute chart. So on the 5-minute chart, we've been walking down this stairway, and on the 1-hour, I mean the half-hour rearview mirror, you're going down this channel. So if you're gonna take that price pulse and find the lowest close within it, it's gonna be there. So you've made it into this crush zone. Now the question is, do we keep tanking, and do I blow up the demo, or is this kind of like the final? Now on the 5-minute channel, I guess I'm betting that it is near its end. So the last place to get out for the buying the bounce on this channel was right up in here, but I didn't get out, so I guess I just decided I'd buy more if it went lower. So that's where I'm at right now, and if it goes lower, I'd buy more, and if it goes too low, then I'm just going to blow up the account, I think. So kind of fork in the road here. Now if we come down one more time, this is the daily, I guess I want to be buying, sadly, for my wife and kids. They're not going to be happy about it, but yeah, I loaded in pretty hard there, and this account's about ready to get blown up. So down about $392 here, looking to blow that one up. And then this one's really close to getting blown up. I must say that's probably the best trading you'll ever do, is on the edge of blowing the account up. Okay, here's the 5-minute world. And this is why I think it's worth it. It's like Dunkin' Donuts, it's worth the trip. Look at this rejection of the Dow Jones into this bottom here earlier. A ricochet off that. Ba-blam. So this pivot's a big deal. Big ricochet zone. And it looks like the Dow could just keep tanking. That's why I'm going into the euro here. I figure that maybe go down 20 more pips on the euro, but so I scaled into it pretty heavy here on the demo, so wish me luck. I only got $20,000 of margin left, so I think one more sell-off here and I'll be blowing this account up, which I must say is the only fun you're ever really going to have in your life, is blowing up an account. So it's a thrill. It's kind of like the Olympics, you know, it's the agony of defeat, right? So it's possible, but we'll see how far they could take this account down. I'm at $500. So this one's scraping the bottom. I had this up to 700 earlier today, but I don't know. I think I got a little too excited about the euro. Okay, so we only got 19,000 margin left. I could care less. Yeah, that's what demos are for. Okay, that's what friends are for. That's not Michael Jackson song. That's what friends are for. So if you make Forex your friend, right? The trend's your friend, right? Anyways, I guess I'll hit the pause button, come back, see if this account. I got about $21 available margin here. I'm thinking about buying some more euro. But wow, what a crazy day. A crazy end of the week is come up and clip these guys off up on the top here, and then rip it all the way back 100 pips back to here, and then I'm definitely going to be getting out of my longs up in this this area for sure. But first target's here. This is the part where you don't blow the account up. So if we can retrace this whole bank, well, wow, what a crazy run! Just a fall through the floor here. But this is my favorite entries: is start buying on the first fall through the floor, and just build a gigundous position into this, and then for the long term, get out of everything here. And if that's what happens, then I'll be able to take this account from 549 up to like you know, $2,000 or something, get it back to a reasonable level after this pullback in the euro. But yeah, I love buying, and it's so funny to watch the you know, the fact that you got these stops up here, right? So they grab that, and they grab the stops here, right? They get to this, haven't got to this one yet, but look at how it took out this one here. In other words, just it was like, actually the first stop entry would have been here, right? For the most, say you're running a stop entry bot, that all it does is passively get in mechanically, right? So every time it sees a one of these, in other words, it gets a small bar, it's going to put in maybe a sell or buy stop. So it only trades on baby bars, right? So it's only going to pluck these out. And then you have your, when it's spiky like this, you're going to be doing your limit orders, which are way outside, right? Because as soon as it goes into volatility mode, you're going to want to be selling. Plus, you wanted to sell all those, right? You wanted to sell, you wanted to, when they went after all these guys' stops, you wanted to be the guy that took the other side of that. And at least traded it back to this top. And then it was also the ripe zone here, was this goes way back in time to the high of the month or something. So this whole window here, and exiting here, realizing that you're going to make money from here to this exit. And then on the so on the passive buy side, right now you'd just be running, see, had a volatility bot. Of course, he would only trade during these 20 pip ranges. He's going to get chopped up here maybe. So there's no perfect world. Of course, we got this price pulse here now, and we could get we could have a one last stop hunt to here, so I'll be buying here. So after I blow up the account or whatever gets stopped out, I would just put buy here again for a high probability bounce off of that. But yeah, this is the current possible point. Like this, if you have a trend line here, and so here we are. We're still tanking, And so I'm in the edge of blowing this up, and this one I haven't blown up yet. And this one I still got 16,000 left, so I'm going to put in more buy limits. So I'm going to do a bad thing, and I'm going to buy more because I'm really want to get this thing as cheap as I can. And this one I'm out of margin. This one I'm about out of margin, so I have to wait for those orders to fill. Alright, so I can't touch it. I just ran it right to the edge. So I just took this demo right to the edge, and I'm actually not going to buy at the market, which I can't believe I wouldn't actually go in for the whole account right now. But I do love trading these demos and blowing them up. I mean, it's like playing Flight Simulator, right? Okay, I'm only down 19,000. It's not that bad. I mean, I think I could get a loan from the banker and add to the account. They don't let you add to these demos. That's something they've got to work on. I want to be able to add to this demo. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. I guess worst case scenario, they stop me out and leave me with 50 grand, and then I'm going to have to really double up. This is another thing they say you should never do. All the things they say you should never do, it's funny you should do them. You know, so the stuff like, okay, well, don't ever double up and go the other way. Well, you know, why not, right? I mean, who says that the next price pulse isn't the turnaround? So we also have to consider the time of day and how long can you go down a beautiful 5-minute stairway. And I guess you have a chance at every point along the 5-minute stairway to bail and go the other way. So you can either counter trend that 5-minute stairway, or you can yeah, just put in orders every 20 pips, right? Every 20 pips it drops, you're buying, right, for a breach, for a bounce. Because it really doesn't matter, right? I mean, and if you're waiting for the market to get quiet, you're getting in on stops. So you'd have buy stops right now on the 30-minute maybe, right? And that's all I can think of. Just a stupid game of momentum and prices over time. And I guess if I can't blow the account up, I'm a little disappointed here, but I'm going to hold through this whole scalp right to here, and maybe I get to 120 grand, and then I'll be up 20 grand. So no, drawdowns are never, I'm just bullish as the day is long. And so if you're following my newsletter, I'm going to tell you straight out that I don't sell that much. Obviously this was a sell up here, but I wasn't riding this, and I did, funny, the last video I actually said it's not as if I'm saying sell here and get out here, but that's actually what happened, only because I'm only in it for the scalp, right? I mean, obviously if you had sold up here, right, at this triple top and these where they're going to stop everybody out, that's an amazing pullback. That's a mind-blowing pullback. But like I said, that was not, I said, yeah, some of those orders could be like that, but for me it's a scalp, right? Some of those orders could have been like that. But anything can be like anything, right? So you're really totally always trading against you're always your own worst enemy as far as if you bring any bias to the game, anything. So my strategy is that I'm an impatient, angry trader, right? And I've accepted that, right? And so I decided, well, I would just run tighter stops and try not to. So I'm trading the demo, and I'm able to punish the demo, but so it's like, you know, you want to have this, you want to date the hooker to test drive, make sure your equipment works, and then you want to marry the girl that you want to, you know, spend the rest of your life with, right? So you always want to have the backup plan, right? And you know, I just like to buy low, sell high. I would sell high, buy low. That was not my, but that was definitely an example of swing trading one instrument instead of trading multiple pairs. And I see a double bottom on the 5 minute right now. This is kind of my favorite high probability 5 minute setup. But yeah, just trying to recover this account. And I really wanted to go as hog wild as I could, keeping. And what I did was I did ramp up that order to a buy at the market, and having a pretty good sense of rhythm, I think, on the 5 minutes. I think my buy the market trading is pretty decent. I'm only looking to make 8 damn pips here on this 30K, right? So this is the 20, looking to make 15, and this is the outlandish 300, yeah, that's the 30 pip profit, right? That's only 30 pips, right? So it's not like I'm risking 15 to make 30, I'm risking 12 to make 15, and here I'm kind of like getting my ass kicked, I suppose. But that's supposed to be a scalp trade where high probability and right. Oh, here you go. Let's say right here how to identify support and resistance. But yeah, so here's my setup for the script. Is I just did this, and everything else on this platform is nothing but it's nothing but 10Ks. Everything's at 10K. And here's the 2 hours buy limits. So I can see that these things have taken an hour to fill, and these are the 2 hour guys. So the 2 hour guys, that's kind of nice, because that means that at least I know those orders are at least deep enough that you know, if I wait another 2 hours and I pull the trigger, okay, I gotta buy at the market now, obviously. Anyways, yeah, it's too much fun, this euro, seriously, people. So here's the 5 minute stairway, and I should have got out here. I was up to about, I was only down about 10 grand at this point, but now I'm down 13. So this is, the wife and kids aren't going to be happy with me now. We're probably not going to go out where we want to eat tonight, and that's a heartbreaker. She was adorable, you know. I thought she was a gold digger at first when she saw my account. I told her this was real money, this account, and that was interesting sledding. I mean, I didn't feel like I was conning her because I thought she was a gold digger anyways. But so yeah, here's the channel. Oh my god, this is so boring. I want to ride this thing until ride this demo until we get to here for the ultimate exit. But I love this underwater, this amphibious move on the part of the euro today. Definitely overload the wagon and risk blowing this account up. So this account has been through the ringer today on this. But here I am. I'm ready for the stampede of the bulls. I think the 5 minute walk down maybe ending, or if it's going to extend its smash, it's going to come down in here. But the scalp here was worth about like 12 pips maybe. But yeah, I'm in for the long haul here. Amazing sell up there. Just nabbed these guys by this 20 pip window on the daily all the way back to the starting gate, blah blah blah. Now it's a buy, whatever. Everybody makes money, you know. The sellers and the buyers, of course, you know, you got to be quick on the draw. You know, when I saw this thing climax into there, I thought I should get out. You know, that's definitely. But I actually just stayed in. I didn't think I was in that bad, and then I loaded more. So I put more orders in down deeper, and I think it was just a matter of like, if you're gonna start off with $100 and you want to get to 300. It's doable. But if you start off with 3 million and you're going to risk the same percentages, you may not want to risk $250,000, right? So it's always kind of a psychological game, money-wise. And I think it's better to compare your trading to everything else in your life. whatever else in your life is, say you pay $24 for an oil change, would you put a 20 pip stop on a 10K? So your oil change is going to cost you 20 pips, right? When you go to the store, somebody said to me, well, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go to the store and think I just spent 40 pips on dinner. But why not, right? Of course, if you're trading Bitcoin, I guess you already got your brain around that. If you're trading gold, you know, if your reference for life is gold or whatever it is, but wow, this euro, what a beautiful auction entry, buy low, sell high, scalping all day long, and thinking about the swing trade of the whole thing is just amazing. And here was another example of the coming up and trimming these, you know, catching these guys here on this entry. So the idea that you're getting caught on any entry, if you're, as long as you're not in too big, you survive it. Okay, so now this is the moment of truth for this demo account. This is make it or break it territory. If this market doesn't retrace 10 pips in the next hour, I must say this account's in trouble. We're going to have to put out an APB on the trader. But yeah, top of the hour is come and gone, so I'm going to come back, and if it hasn't blown up, that would be nice. I guess I maxed it out as far as I could. I got 28 left. And I've been in this crossroad before, but actually I had bigger orders in before. So actually it looks bad now. I'm down 12 grand, but I think I'm going to get stopped out. High probability of stop out before we blow up the account. And that's like I'm crossing my fingers, right? All right, so I'm down 12 grand. I'm going to call my wife and see if we're going to be if I'm going to have to sleep on the couch. Here's an example of a tight stop. Now this account's been through the ringer. This account's been to 4 grand today, and I've been all the way down to $300, right? So I've taken this account through the ringer. It doesn't really matter too much psychologically anymore, because I know the account could be at say $1,000 in the next 5 minutes, or by the end of the week it could be at like 8 grand, right? It's totally possible, and it happens all the time. And on the 4-hour chart, had you bought like this pullback here, yeah, they would have stop hunted you there. But if you're buying on that pivot, that turn, so we go up, we close here, but just on the next session, we don't know what happened. The market could have actually opened down there, right? You can't tell. There's not enough info there, but there's just enough to let you know that you wouldn't want to be entering the in other words, however you're going to slice this thing. And it really it's mechanical trading, I guess, in the end, as far as if you're going to be a volatility guy. It really is mechanical, because you're running these stops and you're not risking too much, right? And you got big rewards built in. But if you're trying to swing trade these wicks, I think limits are the way to go, just because when it plunges like that, if you stagger a martingale, now not to say you can't have buy stops running right now, like every robot worth its half-hour fractal has already got buy stops stacking up here, right? So we haven't made a higher high, right? Well, we're going to take that out like a zipper at some point, right? At least that's typically what happens, unless we're going to keep going down. Now the first fractal, we just took it out, so some robot just got filled, or some mechanical system just got filled on this half hour. So we can see what it's I wouldn't say see what it's thinking, but and for all the people that are trading this structure on close, the double bottom here, you know, this is definitely ripe territory. So the spill down below here, anything when this market started to fall below this price level, and people are getting stopped out, I'm already thinking, holy mackerel, like how long can this last back into this ripe buying zone? And so if you just passively traded this by dropping buy stops, you never rode this down. You never, you're going to get a crappy price on the way back when it comes ripping back. Here you hopefully got the 3 and the 5 pip scalps built into the heavy set part of that order. If you're going to just sit here and literally come to your screen every half hour and make a decision, if you had a pending that sat here for like a whole day, because since this is an inverted hammer here, anytime the market closes at the edge of the range, it's either, you know, a bearish, a shaved candle of some type, right? So you know that it's almost easier to see the candle from this aspect than it is to see the candle, because you know these are the dojis, right? Anytime you see this. All right, so I'm looking for this thing to crawl back to this, and I think it's about risk to reward ratios and probability of event. Certainly, and are you a person that can handle getting in on a stop during quiet market? I notice that there's two kinds of traders: the guy that wants the market to be on fire and the guy that wants it to be quiet. My wife doesn't sleep around. She's home. She makes dinner. Same stuff. She never poisoned my meals. Love her to death. Or are you a person that wants to get in there and trade like a samurai, which I guess that's what I am. I'm just an angry trader, and I'm scalping to cure myself of my anger issues. And that's where it's a therapy. You know, the hotkey market execution is something, though, you really want to stay away from. I think it's better to anger trade a pending than it is to anger trade a buy at the market button, because when you see the opportunity, you know, it can be a little bit, you can get a little over eager, right? You can see it coming, so you over anticipate the trade. Now you're in too early. And then if the market's kind of going down and you're like, yeah, really? Like, so you're long and the market's melting slowly. It's a very annoying situation. Some people like that trade. That's certainly the trend. And the trend can be in creeper gear. I wouldn't say the trend is a flash spike up and down. Those are usually market maker clearinghouses like this over here. I wouldn't call that a trend. I wouldn't say, wow, we're in an uptrend, now we're in a downtrend. I'd say, no, that the trend's up, now the trend's down, right? But the overall trend is up on the next fractal out, right? So it's a channel within a channel, obviously, right? So if you're going to build your channel like this, okay, so here's the channel we spilled out of, and where's the next, what's the bigger channel? For the bulls, it's going to be this one, right? They're going to be, everybody's focused on this now. And if this doesn't hold, then we're going to go to the 1 hour. We're going to look to see, let's go to the 4 hours, see if we're in a bigger channel of a channel. So it's always a channel within the channel. Like I said, it's like an Escher drawing, right? You're going up, down staircases. Of course, we did break out. You can't deny that we broke out of that channel. So now we're possibly in a walk-up channel. And at least for the session people, we could conceivably go up like 30 pips here, or make it to the 40 handle here on this 4 hour thing. So the target, the conservative target's going to be to retest this and this price and this price, and you've only got a few choices here for these lines. So you're never going to if you only place one order per pivot, you're never going to blow up the account, right? Presupposing you did the math on all your scripts, right? So when you see that rollover, you know, those are all your that's all going to be all the targets to the upside. So you're walking down this stairway, and you just can't put any too many lines, right? I mean, as long as they're enclosed, you can always visualize. You can always come back and say with another color here and put this guy in on a different color, right? So make this one say like blue or something, right? Now this would be your all your wicks, right? So you'd have that, and you stack that on all the wicks. There's actually there's an indicator in here I used to use that would actually put all those in. So it would put on all the wicks, right? And here's a wick here, but you're gonna just there's an indicator out there that'll do it. But I guess if you do it by hand, you can see that you know, that's a different style of entry, a different strategy or tactic, because you really want to be buying those. In other words, your buy order would be right at that wick, so you would have already gotten filled on a buy limit, not a buy stop, because you don't want to be getting in a stop at this point of the game. This is where they're trapping you, right? This is where they're going to trap the so if you had your stops in here today and you're like, damn, they stopped me out, like, oh, that stop, you figured, well, surely as it's pulling back, I got to put a stop in somewhere. And I think maybe the end of the day, where's these stops stack up? So if you mark them off here and then you go to the daily and see where they come in, I guess we never really took out that that low. So if your stop is down here, I guess you were good to go, and you were buying the stops from the 4-hour guys, right? So you were buying the guys that put stops in here. You bought theirs, but you never so let me just copy this yellow one to the edge of this. Where's that come in at on the daily? Yeah, so we never came down to that price, right? But we did shear off all the way back into but for the guy that was trading on the clock, he had a buy limit here, right? And he got filled there, right? So he bought this internal pivot on a buy limit, and this was supposed to be yellow, I think. I wanted to make that yellow for just the so everything that's the white line is, I guess I should just make it white, right? I can just build a structure like that. If you made all these white lines, I'll try that next time, and make all these ones black, right? Maybe that's what I'll do next video. So if I just did all white on white and black on black, right? I want my baby back. Then you could build a structure. But you can kind of see what's going on here. So this is one of these big sell-off, drift up, and maybe close the week out up into this. Okay, structurally speaking, that was the rollover on the 4-hour. Yeah, the week's coming to an end here. We went totally unfair back to fair, and this was totally unfair back here to back to fair. And now I want to buy it fair on the 4-hour for a drift up into here, and maybe that's all I'm going to make is the next 40 pips. But I guess I loaded the wagon on this trade, and I just have to have the patience to ride out the storm here. Now here's the 15-minute stairway is being challenged right now. This, and then we got the channel within the channel here. So that's the current issue, is we're right up against the tine on the pitchfork. And here's going to copy this out to make the other leg of the pitchfork there, so to speak. I suppose right there. And then, so yeah, this is definitely seller territory like before. I didn't scalp out. This one I'm going to sit in for the next 15 minutes, unfortunately, for my wife and kids. But I think we could make some headway here, and I can maybe I should be getting out. Now I'm only down $3,000 now, so maybe I should cover some of these scalps in the next 5 minutes. So I'll just come back to this. As soon as I turn off the tape machine, of course, you know, here the market comes screaming back, right? So I'm looking to scalp out of this puppy, get this account up $20,000 because I was down 20 grand. So trying to make 20 grand into the close of the United States market's kind of closing. Europe just closed, and nobody's holding the other side of this thing underwater. So I'm looking to scalp to here, and then I'm looking to bail, and I buy the retest here. So